Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to talk about, as you see, the journey of digital evidence. Let me explain who I am. I'm Mike Ransier. I was 20 years court technology. I was a former computer support coordinator for the city of Mobile. I've got law enforcement roots. I was a former sergeant at the city of Mobile Police Department. In corrections, I was at the Mobile City Jail. Excuse me. Modern cyber defense, specialized in cybersecurity, started in 2023. Long journey. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds on it. Perspective. I've seen the system from the jail cell to the judge's bench. That's one of the things that I will say. Um, and on to the presentation we go. Hashing in collisions, the avalanche effect, small change, catastrophic difference. As you look on the left, you'll see the original. I owe you $100. The hash from the thumbprint, the hash is a set of numbers, and those numbers have to be specifically the same. If it's been edited or if it's been tampered, it's the same difference. If I was to give you and change it in any way whatsoever, it's no longer admissible. So the whole process of this is to make sure everything stays the same as it was the moment you found the article. And this is more of what we're talking about, the hashing and collisions. Now, this is a little video presentation that'll give us a better determination and understanding about how this is going to go. So we'll watch this together.
Sir, the video voice is not audible, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, guys, my voice is audible. Can you? Okay, okay, great. Hello, sir.
I mess up.
Sir, your video voice is not audible, sir.
Oh, you can't hear it? Oh, can you hear
Yes,
the
sir, I
voice?
can hear, but
You can't
yes,
hear the
sir.
voice. Oh, that don't work out well at all, does it? Well, let's move on to the next one real quick, and that way we'll keep on going with this, and we'll work on that audio because that should have worked. It should have worked out right. Let's go on and move on, and let's get the show on the road here. Sorry about that, guys. We'll work on that. Can you hear the voice? I was hearing everything fine through my earphones. Um, Next time we do this, it'll be better. So as it goes, the definition of chronological, we're going to be moving on to the paper trail. And that's what I'm sure everybody's up here for because the whole process of evidence with this is the chronological paper trail of the evidence. The golden rule is we must account for every second the device is in police possession. And the three critical questions are who touched it, when did they touch it, and why did they touch it? And the fatal error is a 1 hour gap in the log that produces a reasonable doubt. So everything has to subsequently happen within a specific amount of time. Everybody that puts their fingers on it has to be able to testify in court exactly what happened from that point, from that you got the article to the next section to the next section. Now, as we move on, this is a picture here of whenever you're running a race, you're passing the baton. The gentleman passes the baton on to the next gentleman and drops the baton, a 10-minute disqualification. You see the reason why what subsequently is going to happen if you try to take that to court, it's going to get thrown out. This is the chain of custody secrets. Now, I don't know why the sound's not working. I we're gonna have to skip this because but if you do a search on YouTube and you look under chain of custody secrets, I'm sure you'll be able to find this in your own spare time. We'll move on so that way we keep the show on the road. And here's a picture of when you're looking at anything physical, you can turn that into digital. And that's what the process of what that magnifying glass is looking at. You're looking at a folder. The folder says deleted. But if you take a hypothetical magnifying glass that was able to look into it, you would see that it was nothing but hashes, ones and zeros. Everything comes down to zeros and ones. And as we move on, I'll explain it a little bit better. All right. When you delete a file, the system only removes the link to the file. So the data remains on the disk until it's overwritten by new data. So yeah, what that means is that even though you hit the delete button and you think you've deleted the file, that file can be surgically removed by forensic means. And the power of metadata. This is what we're going to go into a little deeper. The data is about data, and it's the invisible witness. Metadata is like the middle part. It's like what I say or what I type produces a file, and in between is what's accumulated from when you type it to when the output comes out. That's the metadata. And the metadata proves when a file was created and last modified, which helps build a case timeline because the GPS data is embedded in the photos and evidence at a specific location at a precise time. And the forensic tools are needed to recover these fragmented files and extract the hidden data. If you was to take a normal photo of a lady holding the phone, and if you was to actually put the metadata overlay over her body, you would actually be able to see the GPS, the device of the smartphone she's using, date, time, the device of what of and the ISO of the actual image itself. Now, in forensic imaging, we never analyze the original device. Let me explain that again. We never analyze the original device. So what that means is we take it out of whatever is located. If it's a laptop, if it's a PC. Now, if it's a phone, it's different if it's a phone, of course, but there's specialized equipment we use for phones. We create a bit by bit clone, which is an exact duplicate, and that's what we work off of is the bit by bit clone. And put that back into place where you originally had it, so that way that information that's been stored on that hard drive has never been touched. It's never been touched by the forensics operator. The forensics operator is going to be operating specifically off that clone. And the write blockers, the hardware that physically stops the computer from changing the data. Now, here's a picture of a Tableau forensic bridge using a standard hard drive. Now, when I first looked at this, I said, this looks good. Let's see if I can't find you another picture here. This is one of what you'd use for a phone. This is the same one you'd use for that laptop. Well, with that laptop, you'd be able to take out that hard drive. But that's what you'd use for the Cellebrite is what you'd use for a phone. Cellebrite creates extremely efficient pieces of equipment, and that's what they use in forensics. And that's what you'd use if you're using a phone. Now, we move on to our next slide. Has anybody got any questions so far? Okay, we'll move on. Number 6, now digital fingerprint hashing. We went over hashing. And how do we prove the clone is exact? We're using the hashing algorithm, the ND5 SHH256. And it turns the data into a unique alphanumeric string. And as you can see, that's what the string of a standard MD5 is going to be. And you change one pixel in a photo, the entire hash changes. And that aggravates me. The sound didn't come across. I'm sorry, guys. Now, in metadata, When you delete the data, that usually just means hidden. Data about the data. The photo shows the crime. The metadata shows the GPS coordinates, the time, and the camera model. And the tools that you're going to use in this particular instance is going to be your Cellebrite box, your Magnet XEM, and Autopsy, which is the software that they use. Autopsy is the software they use. Number 8, phase 5, reporting in court. Now, when you're going into court, the goal is admissibility. If a crime has been committed, if you've actually brought charges on a person, the whole goal is the admissibility of the physical evidence that you found on that phone, on that laptop, on that hard drive, on that server. And you got to think authentic. Is it real? And was the tool working correctly? Or did we cherry pick the data? Now, I'm going to tell you something about cherry picking data that'll get you thrown out of court quick. You have to present it exactly the way it is and let the jury take care of the decision of whether it's guilt or innocent. But for you to do your job and for you to come back every time in the courtroom and to have a reputation, you want to make sure that you do it exactly the same every single time. The expert witness is a translator, and all we're doing is converting hex code into plain English. Very complex. And like I said earlier, please go outside when you get your own time and look that information up on YouTube. There's a wealth of information that you can find. And as we move on, one more time. Now, this little representation here is the 3 locks. You have relevant, you have reliable, you have authentic. You've got to unlock all 3 locks for you to get for the evidence to be admissible in court. And the process protects the truth. And as we see on our slide here coming up, conclusion, digital evidence is everywhere. You've got Internet of Things, refrigerators, digital cameras. You'll have so many different items nowadays that's connected. If it's got a Wi-Fi account, a Wi-Fi and connected to the internet, you can forensically look at it. And like I say, the process protects the truth. Now, let me ask some questions and answers. Let's talk about this a little bit. Tell me what you think. Issues?
Yes, sir.
So what do you guys think about this so far?
No, sir, I don't know about uh, these things because my not is background digital evidence.
Well, I want to make sure everybody can speak their mind and let everybody know what they've got. If they got any questions, I don't, I want everybody to speak up. And I appreciate everybody talking to me and um and I wanted to make sure that if there was anything that was needed from me, I want to thank you for inviting me to your presentation. And we are the CyberMind. And you can free to contact me via LinkedIn, or you can email me at mike@thecybermind.co. If you ever need to holler and want to chat and want to talk, I'll be glad to talk to anybody. I'm retired, but I have got a passion for helping the community, and I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you everyone for your active participation, and a special thank you for our expert speaker, Mr. Mike